Blocking the end of the leaf blower tube is an incredibly useful technique, not only to ensure the engine's running optimally, but that the carburetor is adjusted correctly too. And I bet most people, including professional mechanics that may be watching this, have never heard to do so or why it's so useful. Unlike other small engines that you'll come across, chainsaws, line trimmers, hedge trimmers, even two-stroke lawnmowers, all of which see extra load in use, cutting grass, shrubs and trees, leaf blowers are unique in that they are under a constant and complete load at all times and therefore require a different approach to carburetor adjustments. And due to this constant load, there's often little to no change in the engine's RPM at full throttle when the carburetor adjustment screws are turned. Oftentimes it can be as much as half a turn on that high-speed adjustment screw on some engines without the speed, pitch or that rhythm changing. And therefore we don't have a reference in which we can tune to, often leading to people setting the engines too rich, leading to foul plugs, excessive smoke, carbon formation, wasted fuel, and not to mention poor engine performance as well. But conversely, the opposite can be said too. People setting the engines too lean, which can lead to scored or seized engines, but at the very least, the engine underperforming and being underpowered. If there was a way that we could remove the load that the engine of the leaf blower is under, we'd regain that audible reference and the response to adjustments too. Now we're always told to avoid shrinking the diameter of that blower tube, that by doing so we can actually wreck that engine completely. And long term this is true because it actually takes the load off of the fan and the engine and it can cause it to over rev. However, if we do it briefly, taking that load off the engine allows us to hear very clearly whether it's too rich or too lean and make the appropriate adjustment where necessary. And not only this, but as mentioned earlier, it will allow us to regain the sensitivity and responsiveness from that high-speed screw. We want to listen out to what I'll refer to as four-stroking. This roughness occurs when we have the high-speed screw of the carburetor open just slightly more than what's needed by the demand and load that the engine is under. Yet when the load, in this case the fan, is reintroduced and the engine demands that additional fuel, we've accounted for it and the engine runs smoothly and optimally once again. And before I demonstrate exactly what you're aiming for, this tip technique was shared with me by my friend and professional mechanic Shannon. If by the end of this video you found the tip helpful and you hadn't heard about it before, leave him a comment below to show your appreciation, because if it wasn't for him I wouldn't be able to make or share this video with you now. So we always start off with too much fuel going to the engine any time we adjust the high-speed circuit. Therefore we set that high-speed screw to about 1 1/4 turns out from lightly seated. Now we'll block that tube by pressing it into the ground, going to full throttle and then listening for that distinct four-stroking sound that we mentioned earlier. Next we'll gradually turn that high-speed screw closed, clockwise, until we hear the engine start to run smooth, or in this case I'm going to refer to it as two-stroking. Then finally we open that high-speed screw one more time anti-clockwise. Do it very, very slowly until you just start to hear that engine break up, just start to four-stroke once again. And now when we unblock that tube and we go to full throttle, it will run smoothly, two-stroking, at full power and optimally once again. Here's that procedure now done in one complete take so that you can hear the subtleties and differences in the engine's RPM and running characteristics. And lastly, I'll take away that visual distraction of me actually doing the adjustment. Hopefully it will be a little bit clearer and less distracting. Two things before I go. Firstly, please don't forget, if this was helpful to you, to leave Shannon a small comment down below. And secondly, this is only one very small and limited aspect of tuning a two-stroke engine. And there are some essential additional steps that I highly recommend that you understand, which I cover in this video for you next.